Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy, I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Bulldogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvin.
Boys, finally, I have a relevant team.
Okay.
This is
Yes,
go
they
time
are.
because, man, oh man, I have just dribbled up until this point about some dudes where I don't know if we'll end up picking one of them. This, however...
Is that happy hunting ground?
It is. It's provided me the opportunity to talk about some players we might actually pick. Now, my first player picked, ironically, was going to be Bailey Smith.
Yeah.
Who is down and out for the season. It sucks. So he was an absolute bargain and he had forward status.
Yep.
Like, to have him sitting at F1 would have looked great. Because I was,
F1.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have had him bouncing back and
He could have
and
been a
being
top
great.
couple.
Yep, definitely. Yep. Back playing a proper role. All of these things were in my head with him. Obviously, he's going to be our first picked next year now and be an absolute bargain.
It's going to be very cheap.
Yeah.
What colours is he going to be wearing, though?
Not sure.
Yeah.
But at least Bevo won't be there.
That's true.
All right.
Either way.
Yeah.
Even if he stayed.
Oh, well, gosh, I don't know, Dog. Do you know something?
There's plenty of people that are happy for Bevo to go, I reckon.
sauces.
Especially fantasy coaches.
All right, let's start in a sore point for me
Right.
because it was a big blooper at the start of the season, and because I'm stubborn, I didn't fix it. Tim English.
Yeah.
What a season that was. So,
Obvious starting pick last year.
100% it was. So he became the best player in the game. 119 he
did.
averaged up
Massive.
from 102. Now, his ability just to run his opponent into the ground, take marks all over the ground, and then rest forward and hit the scoreboard was amazing. No other ruck could go with him. He was just everything you want out of a ruck. There was no one nipping at his heels to take ruck time off him or anything. He was just the man, and he did it for the majority of the game. He is not going backwards next year.
No.
There is no reason he's
He
dropping off.
maintains, even just, who's with him, that doesn't change.
No.
Role
Look,
does not change.
I'm looking at his splits here. So he was 119 before the bye, 118 after the bye.
That
That's
sounds
just what
like
he
they were
is.
pretty close.
Very
Yeah,
close.
He is a Rolls
All right,
Royce.
But he
now.
played every game, which we
Unbelievable.
That's probably why you didn't go there.
It is. And that's why I remained stubborn, because I was like, well, the week I'm getting in, that's when
injured.
that little dodgy hammy from the preseason
All right. Is he
raises his head.
400k more than Brodie Green?
No way.
You can't, no. You
can't
not
do it,
even
could you?
close.
It would be
So-
shocking cash, whatever.
So
you do
he
with cash
ticks
to do that.
absolutely every box possible, other than he's way too expensive.
Yes.
And we probably can't do
But he
it.
ticks every box to be that number one draft pick too.
Oh, big time.
I don't think you're not blinking with that, are you?
No, I'm all over that. I'm very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
with that. Yeah, there's no reason not to. Now, sitting alongside him is someone that oozes class as well. Bont had a little
Bont.
breakout. Brownlow Bont had a little breakout. Now, he's
did.
always been that safe 100 guy,
Yeah.
but he's never elevated himself with that high ceiling consistently enough to pump out that really huge average. But he did it this year, and he did it by basically hitting every key stat line every week. And if opponents took one part out of it, he'd go down forward and kick 4 goals, and it just didn't seem to affect his scoring. So he became the number one midfielder in the comp with his average. I think it was 117
huge.
in the end. Why does he go backwards?
Well,
what could happen to him to go backwards?
I tell you why he doesn't.
Bevo.
I tell you why he doesn't.
Good point.
So this is a guy who started the year with 390 scores in a row,
yes.
right? And you're like, and then he went a 108, then he went 100. You're like, that's mediocre. From that
I
point,
considered trading him at that point.
From that point, he goes 121.
Yeah.
Like, we look at the 117 and go, geez, that's massive, and geez, his price is. But he basically went at 120, 121 for the season.
Yeah.
After the bye, 123.
Yeah.
So he actually got better.
Yeah. It was, and like I said, it was the access to points in all columns. He racks up the pill, he takes marks, he tackles, and he can hit the scoreboard.
In his last 4 games, 130.
So Bont, up until this year, was rarely a captain option unless it was the juiciest matchup going around.
Yep.
I had the Bont in my preseason team last year, and I had the Bulldogs, so that it was just hot for me, and I got soft and go Macrae instead. As that, And it was another one of those decisions that we keep reliving.
I was going to say, look, it's
That
not
was
about you,
but it's
that
a
was
bad
worth
one.
it. Thank you, Warren.
But that
Thank you.
was one of
Yes.
those things, though, that a
Unbelievable.
lot of people would have made that call. And at this time last year, we were going Bont or Macrae, and just going Macrae, just almost a safety. But then the difference between them in the end was just redonkulous.
Imagine the ranking difference that affected you.
That decision
But as you
was.
said, Roy, after starting the year with 390s, a lot of people would have jumped off.
Yeah.
They were like, this is not what I signed up for.
I mean, I was getting frustrated
Yep.
at him, for sure. Now, we might as well talk about Jack Macrae because...
do we have to?
Yeah, well, we
Yeah,
do.
we do.
We
And
have
do you know
to.
what sucks the most? He's back in the mix for us.
Yeah, so I guess
Forward status.
the forward status is nice. He's the most expensive forward
See, so
and highest averaging forward from last year.
how could he possibly
I know, Roy.
be any worse?
He can't, surely.
He can't be
Bailey
worse than
Smith
this.
thing has to help him.
You would think so.
Has to.
But, you say has to so confidently. You just don't...
You don't know.
You don't know
It's
with
Bevo.
Bevo. That's the damn problem here. So his price is a bargain. We haven't seen him this cheap probably since his second or third
Well, his career
year, to
average
be
is
honest.
like 104.
Yeah,
And
so-
he's down at 92.
So up until last year, basically every week in the commentary, he would be hailed as one of the best midfielders in the competition. And they would, I think, remember there was that stat, like he hadn't dropped under like something huge
Yep.
possession-wise.
Yeah.
And then last year, they took all that away from him. So it took the CBAs away from him.
Yep.
With that went his confidence,
Oh, yeah.
his ability. They used to talk about his kicks inside 50, remember, from the midfield.
Yep.
Well, he wasn't getting a kick, so that dried up altogether. If that was the idea, that's what I used to think. Maybe they wanted that kick going a bit deeper inside 50.
Yep.
That's why he was pushed up there. But I don't know. It didn't work, and he's a bargain as a result, a bargain if his CBAs go back up.
So I'm looking at it here. He had 3 games last year, and he did not have a CBA, right? So the question is,
What?
Where are they going? So Bont and Libba are the main 2.
Yes.
Okay. Other than that, Treloar had more than him.
Yeah.
Is that going to continue? And then other than Macrae, it was Caleb Daniel. So Treloar and Daniel are the people that he's competing against to be that third banana dog.
The third banana.
Third banana.
How is Caleb Daniel in that mix?
That doesn't continue.
He just used to be the banana.
Yeah.
He was banana man.
He was the banana man, yes.
Eric.
Okay. So Bont will still get it. Libba will still be the 1-2.
Well, liver doesn't change.
Right?
Yeah.
Surely Caleb Daniel does not get back in there and surely Treloar, who had nearly 80% of the CBAs, is that going to be the thing that continues?
I don't know. I don't know. But at this stage, I'm thinking, as much as he, got under my skin last year, I see him at that price with forward status.
Gotta do it.
And I'm thinking, that's got to be a no-brainer.
It's
He's
gotta
got to
be.
be back in the guts. With Bailey Smith out
Yep.
too, surely.
Well, that's it. And Bailey Smith was the other one that was fighting for that spot as well.
I don't know.
Other than those guys, they're the only ones that get a look in there.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Caleb Daniel then. We'll talk about him. So he pops his little helmet into the midfield for some CBAs.
now, did you know this? The Ballarat game, Roy.
Yeah.
When is it?
Oh,
Have you found it?
I know when it is.
when? Now, just before
It better not
Cal
be two.
reveals this,
Yep.
Tell them why.
Ballarat is bad. Bad news for Caleb.
Tell them why.
Like, he doesn't hit 50.
It's not just bad news for him, it's bad news for the Warn Dogs because I've always got him for that game.
Like, he needs to be traded out for that game if you
What
have
does
him.
he have, Dog, in Ballarat?
He had a 20,
Yep.
and I think it was sub 40.
Yeah.
Yep.
The 20 and suspension.
Yeah, that was the one that hurt the most.
And then you backed it up and went there again. You are a crazy cat. When's he playing in Ballarat?
Okay. This is like a public service announcement.
Yeah.
He's playing
It's basically like another
Ballarat round 2.
Well, that's excellent because he'll get cheap,
wow.
and we launch.
Right. Well, those people.
So he's a non-starter.
Because people have him in their starting squad.
Yeah, it's a rethink.
Because
You did.
Yeah, look, I know. I've rethought it.
And
that's when. Did you take him out when you saw the Ballarat game?
Yes. Someone tweeted me and said, Cow, check this out. And I was like, holy hat.
Yeah. Get
can't have him.
out of there. Now, crosses creates
so
opportunity.
in that then, with that, because this is the question. Are you considering Jack Macrae or Caleb Daniel in Fantasy Classic? No, because both of them have the mid-forward status, so you can get both as forwards. There's only 18K between them.
It is.
Anyway, yes, looking at both. Only considering Macrae, only considering Daniel, or won't be picking either.
I'll be picking Macrae.
I'll be picking. I'm not picking the spud who's heading off to B-Rat. Right? Not at all. It's Macrae.
Hey.
Macrae all day.
Listen to this.
I'm going to
about
get a
Caleb.
T-shirt that says Macrae all day. Right?
Yeah,
Done.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do
you want a
Macrae all
T-shirt
day.
too?
I'm doing Macrae all day.
I'll get you one.
Look, Caleb Daniel, right? So if he though, like he's been very consistent. Let's not be disrespectful.
Yeah.
87, 87, 90. He's gone right.
Yep.
If he.
Do we want him in the back line? Like,
That's
is that
the
what we
thing.
need?
Yes,
we need
because
him back there.
he could go 95. Seriously, if he played the full season as that distribution guy across half back,
Yep.
he could go 95 this year.
It's funny, though, because they've got a few dudes like that
They
now.
do, that's a
that
problem.
was the change, I guess, in the last couple of years of Richards, Bailey Dale, who does look like Macrae when he runs too.
JJ when he plays down back.
Yep. Like, there's just those guys that are very similar.
So it's sort of beyond us. So he's a guy that averages 90 playing all over the ground, basically.
Yep.
And he will again, but with that B-Rat game in round 2, we wait until he bottoms out in price. Now, as I said, crisis creates opportunity with Bailey Smith, and I think the opportunity is going to fall in the hands of one of our boys, Ryley Sanders.
Oh, yes.
So Ryley obviously comes in at a heavily inflated price, $285K. I thought he was a bargain. What did he go, pick 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute bargain there because he is a little piglet. Now, we penciled him in to start round 1 in probably playing that small forward role where the Dogs seem to roll through about 3 guys there and no one holds their spot down and they just go round and round and round. Thought Ryley would probably start there. But now with Smith out and the way he's been training, like he has been putting the Jets on in the midfield. The clips I've seen,
he's good.
people like
Very
poor old
good.
Harmsy look like they can't run when they're chasing him when he's bursting out of the
So,
middle.
no, in the coach talent leagues, no one averaged more possessions than him. He had 31. Colby next best with 29.
Yep, magnet.
106 a game and loves a cuddle too, Roy.
Yep, 5 tackles a game he laid.
5 cuddles, loves it.
Yeah, 4 marks. So he does a bit of everything.
Yep.
And he's a Jet, and he's working his backside off, and he'll be there early,
Yep.
and he'll stay in. And his role is going to be pretty good now, I think.
I'm with you.
Yep.
Excellent.
So we're paying up for this.
And he's got to be on your field.
Yep,
Lock him next
definitely.
to, the big Tassie
So
boys.
you got Colby
Yep.
and Riley
Yep.
at what then? Are you calling that your M6, M7?
Well, I'm
And
putting
hopefully
those
get
two-
a third one?
I'll put those two next to a couple of cats.
Yep.
Cats and dogs in there.
Cats and dogs. Cats and
One room. One room.
Should be going off.
Yep, so he's a lock and load. Now, someone I was interested in, because we've talked about him for years, but guy, he's had no luck. Nick Coffield.
I like it.
Has
Yeah.
always had potential.
Trade.
And we always, on that day before I will lock out, so to speak, we always seem to need someone about 400K in defence just to make everything else work. And they turn out to be an absolute spud and derail our season from the get-go. But
So this is the one that's going to do it to us next year.
it's Coffield that's going to do it. So I might as well introduce you to him now. Guys, this is Nick. He's going to ruin your season before it starts.
G'day, Nick.
358 he is. Now, he's priced at, what is it?
Under 40 it is.
Under 40.
Yeah.
So he's priced
39.
way lower than his lowest ever average. So you're basically guaranteed 15 points. But I think he's going to actually come out better than that. So if he has any luck at all over this preseason and he's named, that is borderline a no-brainer
Yep.
for that
I'm with
price.
you.
Because I don't see him, the way the Dogs play, I honestly don't see him averaging under 60.
Yeah.
So it's 20 points minimum
I'm with you.
upside.
I think it's a minimum 60.
Yeah.
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 Very fair.
So that's him. I think he's a great look for us. Now, as far as anyone else goes, let me have a quick look at who I was thinking.
Arthur Jones isn't worth a look, is he, Roy? He made Artie Jones.
Amazing ability
He's
to not
worth-
score.
he's
but
worth
be out
more.
there.
Than what I thought he would be, Cal.
Artie.
He did a couple of good things.
Look-
he tackles hard.
Look, draft relevant, Artie. That's a no.
Okay, have a look through. See if there's anyone else you
Yeah, it's not a lot there, really.
No.
Like, you pretty much have said, James Harmes, you shouldn't have gone there.
Yeah. Well,
But
the thing is,
there's a little bit of upside with him.
Harmsy I actually would look at in draft.
Yeah.
Because you look at his average,
It's got a
and if it's
47,
sorted by
yeah.
average, you may get him very late. And
And
with
with
Bailey
forward
Smith
status,
out and forward status, the thin forward line that we've got access to at the moment, he is someone that if you think his name...
Could be one of those players that is, a good waiver free agent pick
Yeah.
because of what he might be able to do there.
Yeah.
Like, it's a horses for courses. Do they need him to play that sort of midfield role
Yes,
for that
potentially.
stopper type thing,
Yeah.
which access to points?
And he
doing
can
that?
average 70 plus doing that
Yeah.
in a deep draft. 70 plus from a forward this year.
70 plus from a forward in a shallow draft is going to be all right.
Well,
I reckon.
that's
Jeez,
true.
it's going to be hard work.
But there's guys that have just scored for years from here. This is why you've always got a soft spot for the Dogs. Like Treloar, he's going to be great for a draft. Libba still scoring, actually coming off a ripper year.
Treloar going at 105.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Libba 103. So
Yep.
there's still points to be had.
Yes.
They still
in the
score
Dogs
all right.
midfield.
We
You just
probably
need
give
to
Bevo a hard time
You just
sometimes.
need to get in there. Well, it's the ones you want in there getting the points. That's the problem with Bevo. So anyway, that's my view of the Dogs. There's a few there that
good
I
one.
really like.
I like it, right?
We love the Bulldogs. We love Bevo. We love
do.
checking out our content at afl.com.au/fantasy. Getting onto these podcasts, which are all over Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you are on board all our social stuff. We'll be back next time.
You've been listening to the official AFL Fantasy podcast. For more expert advice from the traders, head to afl.com.au/fantasy.